Imagine a ruler so ruthless he'd murder his own family to stay in power. This is the story of Nero, the last emperor of the Julio-Claudian dynasty. Nero, a name that echoes through the corridors of time, was a figure who presided over the Roman Empire with an iron fist and a heart steeped in darkness. His reign, from 54 to 68 AD, bore witness to a series of shocking acts that would forever cement his name in the annals of Roman history. Nero was not just an emperor. He was a character painted in shades of controversy and bathed in the blood of those he considered obstacles. His mother, Agrippina, was an ambitious woman who manipulated her way to the top of the Roman political ladder. But even she couldn't escape Nero's deadly grasp when he perceived her as a threat to his reign. Then there was Britannicus, the son of Emperor Claudius, and the rightful heir to the throne. Nero's older stepbrother was another casualty of his ruthless quest for power. Not once, but twice, Nero attempted to poison Britannicus, finally succeeding in eliminating the young man who stood in the way of his absolute rule. But perhaps the most heartbreaking of Nero's victims was his own wife, Papaya Sabina. A woman of unparalleled beauty, Papaya was the object of Nero's intense affection. Yet, in a fit of drunken rage, Nero kicked his pregnant wife, resulting in her tragic death and the loss of their unborn child. Each of these figures played a significant role in Nero's life, and met their end at his hands. Their stories are woven into the fabric of Nero's reign, serving as chilling reminders of his unfettered power and the lengths he would go to maintain it. In the annals of Roman history, Nero's reign stands out as a time of violence, intrigue, and unbridled power. It was a time when a single man's thirst for control led to a trail of bloodshed and an era that ended the century-long rule of the Julio-Claudian dynasty. Nero's rise to power was not without its challenges, especially those posed by his own family. His mother, Agrippina, was a key player in his ascension to the throne, having married Emperor Claudius, who already had a son, Britannicus. Britannicus, being the elder, was the presumptive heir. But Agrippina had other plans. She wanted to rule through Nero, her own flesh and blood. But as Nero grew older, their relationship soured. He sought independence, straining the bond between mother and son. Agrippina, feeling the tension, began to sway her support towards Britannicus, who was now of age and could rightfully claim the throne. Nero, feeling the threat to his reign, made a chilling decision. He attempted to poison Britannicus, but luck was not on his side. The attempt failed. However, Nero was not a man easily deterred. He was relentless in his pursuit of power and would stop at nothing to secure his throne. He engaged the services of a poison master, testing lethal concoctions on several children to perfect the deadly dose. Once he was satisfied, Nero invited Britannicus to dine with him. He poisoned his brother for the second time, this time succeeding. Nero watched as his rival, his own brother, died before him. In Nero's world, power was worth any price, even the life of his own brother. This grim tale of family feuds, power struggles, and ruthless ambition offers a glimpse into the life of one of Rome's most infamous emperors. An emperor who would let nothing, not even family ties, stand in the way of his rule. It's a tale that continues to captivate us, shedding light on the darker side of Rome's illustrious history. But Britannicus was not the only family member Nero viewed as a threat. Even within the brutal confines of Roman politics, matricide, the act of murdering one's own mother, stood out as a particularly heinous crime. Yet Nero, in his relentless quest for power, was not deterred by such moral considerations. His mother, Agrippina, once his greatest advocate, had become a formidable adversary, a threat to his reign. Agrippina, the woman who had masterminded Nero's rise to power, had her own ambitions. But as Nero grew older and more independent, their relationship soured. The mother-son bond twisted into a bitter rivalry, a power struggle that would end in tragedy. To rid himself of his mother, Nero concocted a series of bizarre and elaborate plots. His plans had a theatrical quality, as if he was crafting a drama for the stage rather than plotting an assassination. But beneath the spectacle, the objective was deadly serious. Agrippina had to die. Nero's first plan was to construct a collapsible boat designed to sink and take Agrippina with it. The boat did sink, but Agrippina, a strong swimmer, managed to survive. Undeterred, Nero turned to a more direct approach. He hired assassins to finish the job. They succeeded where the boat had failed, killing Agrippina and staging her death to look like suicide. Her last words reportedly were, "Smite my womb," a chilling curse from a mother betrayed by her own son. It was a tragic end for a woman who had once been the most powerful in Rome, and a stark reminder of Nero's ruthless ambition. Nero's matricide shocked the Roman Empire. Even in a society accustomed to political violence, the murder of a mother by her own son was a crime that defied comprehension. Yet, Nero remained unrepentant, seemingly immune to the horror of his actions. Agrippina's tragic end marked another dark chapter in Nero's reign, a testament to his ruthless pursuit of power. The matricide of Nero, a story of ambition, betrayal, and cold-blooded murder, remains one of the most chilling episodes in the annals of Roman history. Nero's relationships were not immune to his violent tendencies, as the fate of his pregnant wife Papaya Sabina tragically illustrates. Nero's love for Poppaea was a rare genuine passion in his life. She was famed as one of the most beautiful women in Rome, and Nero was utterly smitten. When she fell pregnant with their second child, Nero was filled with joy. He eagerly anticipated the arrival of a new member in his family, a chance to continue his lineage. However, beneath the surface of their seemingly idyllic relationship, darker currents were swirling. One fateful evening after coming home inebriated from the races, a violent argument erupted between Nero and Poppaea. Consumed by rage, Nero lashed out at his pregnant wife, delivering a fatal kick to her stomach. Poppaea's demise was as sudden as it was shocking. The blow not only took her life but also that of their unborn child. Nero's moment of violent anger had robbed him of his beloved wife and the child he had so eagerly anticipated. In the aftermath, Nero was consumed by a profound grief. He refused to eat, and he isolated himself in his room, shutting out the world. The man who had once held the power of life and death over an empire was brought low by his own actions, a perpetrator cloaked in the robes of a mourner. In an attempt to honor Poppaea, Nero ordered a lavish funeral. Her remains were placed in the mausoleum of Augustus, an enduring symbol of the family's imperial power. Yet, even as her ashes rested in the grand mausoleum, the brutal circumstances of her death remained a stark reminder of Nero's violent nature. Nero's grief was profound, but it could not erase the brutal circumstances of Poppaea's death. The tragic tale of Nero and Poppaea serves as a poignant reminder of the destructive power of uncontrolled rage, even in the realm of love and relationships. Nero's personal life continued to be controversial even after Poppaea's death. In a desperate attempt to fill the gaping void left by the death of his beloved wife, Nero found solace in an unlikely source. His eyes fell on a young slave boy named Sporus, who bore an uncanny resemblance to Poppaea. Sporus, a mere pawn in Nero's grief-stricken state, became the object of Nero's unusual affection. He was not only enamored by Sporus's physical likeness to Poppaea, but was also determined to rekindle his lost love through this young boy. Nero's obsession with Sporus took a bizarre turn when he decided to marry him. But this was not a typical Roman wedding. Nero had Sporus castrated, blurring the lines of gender, power, and social status in the process. This was not a decision taken lightly, even by Nero's standards. It was an act that shook the foundations of Roman society, a society that prided itself on its strict social hierarchies and norms. Yet Nero was undeterred. He was the emperor, and his word was law. The marriage ceremony was held with all the pomp and grandeur of a royal wedding. Nero played the role of the groom, and Sporus, garbed in the bridal veil, played the part of the bride. The union was celebrated lavishly, with Nero showering Sporus with expensive gifts and public affection. However, this unusual marriage was more than just a spectacle. It was a glaring manifestation of Nero's absolute power and his complete disregard for societal norms. It was a reminder that Nero, in his quest for personal satisfaction, was willing to bend the rules of nature and society to his will. But all this did little to fill the emptiness within Nero. His reign was marked by turbulent relationships and personal tragedies. His actions, born out of desperation and obsession, only deepened the chasm of his loneliness. Nero's reign was marked by cruelty, power struggles, and personal tragedies, leaving a legacy that continues to fascinate us to this day. Despite his short and tumultuous reign, Nero's legacy has endured. A figure of intrigue and controversy, Nero's reign was marred by extreme acts of violence, yet it's his rule that signifies the end of the Julio-Claudian dynasty, a turning point in Roman history. His rule was rife with family feuds, ruthless murders, and acts of depravity that shocked even the hardened Roman populace. Yet these stories, these dark moments in Nero's life, have transcended time, becoming immortalized in the annals of history. Nero's reign saw the splendor of the Roman Empire at its peak, but also its descent into chaos. His extravagant lifestyle and his passion for arts and culture left a lasting impact on the empire. His golden house, a sprawling palace adorned with gold and precious gems, stands as a testament to his love for opulence. But it's not just his excesses that left a mark. Nero's rule was also marked by his tyrannical abuse of power, his disregard for the Senate, and his obsession with personal glory. This led to widespread discontent among the elites, ultimately culminating in Nero's downfall. In the present day, Nero's reign serves as a cautionary tale about the perils of unchecked power and the devastating consequences of personal ambition. His story is a stark reminder that those who wield absolute power often fall prey to their own hubris. Yet, Nero's story also offers a glimpse into the complexities of human nature. He was a man capable of deep love, as evidenced by his relationship with Papaya Sabina, but also capable of extreme cruelty, as illustrated by his actions towards his own family. This dichotomy makes Nero a fascinating figure, a man who embodies the best and worst of humanity. Nero's reign may have ended in chaos and civil war, but his story remains an enduring part of our shared history, a stark reminder of the dangers of absolute power. His life, his reign, and his legacy continue to captivate us, offering a glimpse into a period of history that was as brutal as it was fascinating.